Good morning. Wow, wasn't that the most glorious weekend weather we've had in I don't remember when? I mean, I was like thinking that in the midst of everything that's kind of so crappy, we get this beautiful weekend, and it's just really such a God thing. Anyway, I stumbled across a song called One Day, and I kept being drawn back to its words. You're doing one day, one breath, one prayer, one thing at a time, one word, one step, one hope in a coming light. Don't try to swallow the ocean. Keep doing one day till one day you're free. I love those words. But the problem is, I'm not always a one day at a time person. I don't know about you, but sometimes I like to know what exactly is going to happen, how it'll happen, how long it will take to happen, and what I need to do to make it happen. Especially now as we are living through this pandemic with all its uncertainties, unknowns, and unpredictable, sometimes grim outlooks. And then I tend to play over every single possible scenario that could happen in my head, and I try to figure out how I could tackle each problem that might come up so I can decide how to proceed. It is so exhausting trying to swallow the ocean. It's also a cause for a lot of anxiety in my life. See, if I can't see the big picture and know the outcome, how can I move forward? Well, the answer is I may not know, but I know who does. God. See, when I am impatient, God is gracious to me and ever so patient. When I work myself up with the what ifs and maybes, He pulls me back down to earth and reminds me of that verse I shared a few messages back from Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not harm you, to give you a future and a hope. See, the good news is that God knows what my future holds, so I can rest in Him. And although I still slip up from time to time, even though I still try to control things and plan ahead, I know and believe this promise with every fiber of my being. And I want you to know that too. See, it's not that our plans are bad or we shouldn't make any. Of course not. It's just God's plans are so much better. And so we need to make sure that He's in all of our plans. And right now, as everything in our nation is in turmoil, I need to know God holds my life, our lives, ever so carefully in His hands. And I need to know that there isn't any need to worry, to overplan, to try and take control, because God has it all under control. His control. And really, how awesome is that? To know without a doubt that God sees our tomorrows before they become our todays. He saw the beginning of our lives. He sees the end. And He sees everything in between. I figured it was going to be tough when the pandemic hit. I worried about my family, friends, my congregation, because they are like my family. And then the reality of our systemic racism came to the forefront with the awful killing of George Floyd, and I was shocked at the hatred and vitriol coming from all sorts of people and places, and I started to feel a sense of, almost hopelessness, because I didn't know what to do. What could I do? But then I remembered this verse and made the decision to simply trust in God. That's what I did. I decided to trust that He was looking out for me and already knew what was going to happen. And because of that, I could relax and just be open and wait for God to move and to move me. And you know what? That was so freeing. And so this is what I do. I wake up every day and I just ask God to direct my feet, to guide me in what I should be doing and saying, and to help me be able to succeed at doing it. And sometimes it works out beautifully. sometimes not so much. But God is so very faithful. And I always have the opportunity to try it again the next day, living just one day, one moment, one breath at a time. So today, my friends, if you are anything like me, then I encourage you to try and do that too. When you start to feel anxious at what's happening in your life, in our world, and it's so easy to do that right now, please remember this verse. Remember that our God sees everything that's going on, knows everything about you, and wants to help you make it through whatever time you find yourself in. See, He already knows your tomorrow, but wants you to live today. Do it. Don't try and swallow the ocean. Rather make the most of today, this day that you have been given, this beautiful day that you have been given. And know God is right there in it with you. So please stay safe. Wear your mask and practice social distancing. Keep washing your hands and always stay hopeful. Know that God loves you so much, and so do I. And I'm praying for you. I'll see you tomorrow. God bless you.